Prior to joining Oatly, which was 4 years ago, I used to work for a company called Arcla Food Sweden. So I used to be the sustainability director. And before that, I worked for the Lund University, Faculty of Medicine, where I worked as a communications manager, and the University Hospital of Malmö. And before that, I was working for the European Commission. I was press secretary for the Environment Commissioner, working in her cabinet, who later became the Swedish Foreign Minister, Margot Wallström. Mm-hmm. I also worked on development and development aid within the European Commission. So I worked on issues very close to humans and humanity all my life. So it's development aid, it's about environment, it's about health and communication and change, I would say. The mission, it is about to help people live healthier lives without recklessly taxing the planet's resources in the process. I know how important the food system is in terms of tackling both challenges linked to climate change as well as to public health. So I've learned how important it is to focus on and address the food system. Talking about Oatly, I mean, we've had an annual growth rate about 30%, and in some markets it's several 100%. It's clear that we have a growth rate that reflects consumers' willingness to shift, and it's a shift driven by primarily young people like young women like yourselves, who are willing to change their consumption patterns to save the planet, and I find that is fantastic. So research, the regulatory framework, awareness, education needs to increase among the common public, and what is good for you and what's good for planet. And I would really, really like to see climate footprint declaration on all products. It would be fantastic and very empowering if consumers would know and be guided not only by price when they buy stuff, but actually on the climate footprint, because we know for a fact that the price does not reflect the true cost on society or on the planet. I find as soon as you start talking about things that matter and about how you can make a positive impact in society and in other people's lives, everybody I've spoken to about it does get engaged. Money doesn't really engage people. If you can make the money and the values and sustainability go hand in hand, that is very strong. And that is how we really can speed up the shift that is necessary. Culture is very important of a company. That will be a decisive factor over time. And I think it's become more and more that you can have a genuine, sustainable business idea. And if you have healthy values which you live by within the company, I think that will make a difference, that you can grow. And also I can see like investors gets more and more attracted to that area as well. Absolutely. Lots. I think partly due to lack of knowledge, lack of information. Also, there is some distorting truths out there. Of course, there's a huge resistance against the transitions among people or businesses who perceive themselves as losers in a transition. And one risk group which has been really concerned are farmers. there has to be an inclusiveness and a just and socially inclusive transition. But to give you one example, we have co-funded a research study on a farm in Sweden, a small farm. So together with a researcher, well-known researcher, Elin Rös, he started doing a transition of his farm to make it more diversified and start producing more food for direct human consumption instead of growing feed for the animals. And with fantastic results. With just a small adjustment, he managed to triple the number of people he could feed from what the farm produced. And he more than halved the climate footprint of the farm. It was just a small transition. And of course, the land use became much more efficient. What we are addressing very much is all the distorting regulatory framework, actually, because we both want to increase awareness, and we also want to address and change all those regulations that are wrong and that are distorting, that is hindering the shift. And there are loads. The transition must take place, and the consumers are there and they're asking for it. And very much so the younger generations. So there is where that's where my heart is, and that's where I want to make a difference.